Hit Squad. And Reckless. You know what I'm saying? MC Doc, baby. We came to do this. You heard? Okay, y'all, welcome back to the channel, man. Well, we react to everything. That's what it's about. We react to everything. A diversified channel, baby. And what we about to come with now, though, man, because it's like I just need some shit that's still explained to me just as well. Because we always have two entities that we never really ever seen, but we know it gotta exist some type of kind of way. And I'm talking about the God and devil. You know what I'm saying? Jesus or the devil, either or. Jesus, God's son. Jesus is way God is in a way different realm of everything. So he sent his son to do the majority of what we doing right now. You know what I'm saying? That's the best way I can explain now. But this right here, man, this is supposed to be basically right here, how the devil is really real. Now, if God is real, the devil gotta be real if the devil was God's right-hand man in heaven, sitting at the music department, playing all the music. That's why I see now all the derogatory, nasty messages that we get in these music. It's from the devil. That's automatic. That's why when you talk about God in your music, you don't get recognized like that. They want to hear the devil. Demonic things, sex, money, drinking, rape, kill, takeovers. That's what they want to hear and talk about. Man, why y'all not woke? I see. So I'm like, oh, okay. Let the rich keep getting richer. Let's just find out where they at and get them. That's just, you know what I'm saying, man? I'm telling you, man. You letting the big man give y'all little kibbles and bits to take care of them, when you should be already oh, hell no. I know he not for good, and we need to go on and do something about it. Don't let me catch somebody super think they doing something, and then they ain't showing too much. Don't do that. That's all I'm gonna say. Don't do that. Don't show me too much, and you're a nigger, and you're belittling me. You know what I'm saying? Don't do that to any other race around me, please. Don't come showing your riches and belittle. Don't do it. I got you. That's all I'm gonna say. Real talk. Just to prove a point to myself, that nigga do that shit. That, and then all I need is a million me's. A million me's. Farrakhan did it. Farrakhan, we need a million people, man. I don't know who you voting for, Farrakhan, but get that million, man. Get them billions up, man, for Kamala, though, real quick. Hey, what we finna do, though, man, we finna jump into this unexplained, you know what I'm saying, truth about how the devil is real, bro. And then I don't know how y'all look at it, as if y'all look at it in a spiritual way, if you look at it as you know what I'm saying, a fake cartoon way, because they put it on cartoons and shit, or if you really experience bad shit on earth and good shit on earth. When you celebrate the good shit, you feel good. You feel good, no crying, no nothing. But soon as the devil come in, it's sad shit. You crying, you gotta rob somebody. You gotta do something bad. You know what I'm saying? We should know the difference, y'all. But we finna let this speak for it. I ain't gonna say shit while I'm talking, because I'm getting it out the way now. That's my thing, get it out the way. Then let y'all see what I'm talking about. Let's get it, man. And I told y'all, man, devil, D-E-V-I-L, that means you're a dangerous enemy. Violate innocent lives. I said my acronym, and I got it copywritten.
Jerusalem, Israel, the Holy Land. For thousands of years, religious pilgrims of many faiths have come to this sacred city to express their devotion to God. But just outside the walls of Jerusalem lies the Valley of Hinnom, an ancient place of unholy worship, where evil deeds were performed long ago in honor of God's enemy, Satan.
In the book of Jeremiah, God reports through his prophet that people outside Jerusalem, in a place called the Valley of Hinnom, are sacrificing their sons and also their daughters. And God explicitly says, I never asked you to do this satanic ritual. And expresses that he's angry that there's going to be a terrible punishment for this.
Historically speaking, in the days of the Bible, not everybody was faithful to the Lord. Satanism influenced the Israelite community. And what they would do, literally, was they'd create a big pit of fire, and they actually would sacrifice their firstborn male through the fire. This was performed in the valley of Hinnom, which is actually the Hebrew word today for hell.
I can't imagine what would cause someone to want to sacrifice their own child to anything, for any reason.
Now they doing that right now. You know what I'm saying? Sacrificing your child, a family member, and this and that. Now this was like biblical way back in the days. So those that do that right now is following the devil's paths. That's all. Come on, man.
But this demonstrates how in antiquity people believed that their crops wouldn't grow, that the rains wouldn't come, if they didn't offer sacrifices up to some satanic demons, spirits, whatever. And now you have introduced this new being that's responsible for the bad things, and his name comes to be Satan.
What can explain the shocking events that took place in the Valley of Hinnom thousands of years ago? Was it simply the result of human wickedness? Or is it possible that, as the biblical accounts suggest, Satan and his demons were and still are real entities that have the power to influence people?
Some people think of Satan as Beelzebub or Lucifer or the Prince of Darkness or the Evil One or Old Nick. And some of these names come from scripture. A lot of them come from folklore. And if you think of Satan as this ubiquitous figure who's constantly tormenting and tempting people, then it makes sense that the devil can be known by all of these different nicknames.
Is there really a character of the Satan? Well, the definition of that is going to differ between the major world religions. But fear of an eternal damnation in the afterlife has always been sufficient to keep people religious and in line with the beliefs of their religious clerics, who warn them that failure to comply will lead to an eternity of suffering and damnation. Or in other words, the stories from which this developed were to teach moral lessons.
Throughout history, many religions have interpreted the world through the lens of having a figure of evil, Satan, who is responsible for evil in the world. According to Christian tradition, Satan was one of the most powerful and beautiful of the angels. He rebelled against God. A third of the angels sided with Satan, and there was a war in heaven, which Satan lost and was cast down into hell.
Satan is the embodiment of evil, a fallen angel who tempts you to not follow your best values. He is a god of sorts, and he can offer something like that to us. Great knowledge, control, mastery, the stuff of transcendence. Of course, it will cost us everything. After all, this is not a straight shooter. This is not somebody who's going to tell the truth. His job is to tempt you.
Satan is believed to have tried to tempt Jesus when he was in the desert with visions of earthly delights. So Satan is continually throughout the Bible someone trying to draw people from God to evil. But the idea of Satan flows throughout history and across religions.
And that's exactly what's going on right now, man. Come on, man. They telling you in the most biblical way. I'm gonna let them continue to tell you in the biblical way, but I've been doing this shit as a kid, y'all. Come on, man. Y'all better wake up, and I hope y'all went to a Baptist church.
There is Mara in Buddhism, who is a demonic king, a entity representing evil, and therefore would tend to take on very frightening forms, which oftentimes are mixtures of human and animal. There is Iblis, who is the Islamic representation of Satan. So we see this figure of Satan, a singular entity that is in charge of evil across religions and over time.
in Western Europe, we start to see depictions of the devil around the 8th and 9th century. And the devil becomes depicted all over churches in various other sorts of art and statue and so forth. He's always portrayed as a monstrous beast, half human, half animal, sometimes winged, sometimes horned, sometimes red, sometimes black, occasionally surrounded by his subordinate demons, and often emerging from the flames of hell.
The Vatican, May 19th, 2013. Thousands of Christians are gathered in St. Peter's Square to watch Pope Francis perform Sunday Mass. As he greets the crowd, the Pope lays his hands on the forehead of a man who is thought to be possessed and recites a prayer. A video of the incident went viral and left many viewers to conclude that they had just witnessed the Pope performing an exorcism.
Pope Francis, he believes in evil spirits, he believes in Satan, he believes in the possibility of possession and the need for exorcists. He's quite traditional in that respect.
Exorcisms appear in the oldest writings that we have. From the ancient Near East, from India, from China. So exorcism is literally as old as recorded history. There's many different forms of exorcism all over the world and in different religions, and most have various types of objects that are used to drive away unwanted spirits. Holy relics, crosses, holy water, and even exorcism itself are what the Catholic Church calls sacramentals. So the Church's view is that these are symbolic expressions of the authority of the Church. And so even though they are in a sense symbolic, at the same time they have real power and can help a priest to display the authority of the Church and drive away demons.
If Satan and his army of demons are really waging a war against humanity, then exorcists are on the front lines.
It's important to realize that an exorcism is not magic. We don't do magic. It's a prayer. Essentially, it's the Church's prayer to God in Jesus to cast out the demons. And so we invoke that authority as his disciples to cast out the demons. And then we use the Church's prayer called the rite of exorcism. We use holy objects like rosary beads, holy water, crucifixes, any holy object. Satan can't stand it. When the person is manifesting a demonic presence, the first thing that happens is you've got this incredible evil look. As a matter of fact, they'll look at me and they'll say, "You stupid priest." If you've ever really looked into the eyes of evil, you won't forget it. And then different things happen which are physically not explainable. A 110-pound young woman throwing 3 big guys around the room. So we've had some of those sorts of things. A couple teams in the country have had people levitate. We haven't. So things do happen like that.
Levitation? That's one thing to believe that Satan can take control of a person's mind, or even attack their body. But floating in midair? Is such an extraordinary phenomenon even possible?
About 35, salt of the earth people have told me they have witnessed during a possession a levitation. It's widely believed in these circles, one of the paranormal things that demons can exhibit is getting their possessed victim to levitate. A lot of people challenge what I say, and they say, well, okay, you believe in levitation, which is against the laws of science. Of course, it's against the laws of normal science. I understand that. I'm not saying I don't believe in gravity. What I'm saying is there are spiritual forces, including dark forces, that can violate the normal laws of nature.
To some, the stories about the power of exorcism may seem far-fetched. But, on the other hand, this practice of banishing evil has offered spiritual relief to people from all walks of life.
See, most of the cases that we have, the people are very psychologically balanced. We have professional people, we have lawyers, we have military people. We usually heal on both tracks at the same time. We heal on the spiritual level. We also heal on the psychological level. Many times we find that the demonic feeds off the internal wounds. The anger is the unforgiveness, the hurts. So when you start healing some of those inner wounds, they have less to feed off and grab onto.
It rises from the earth like a giant fist, stretching out to strike the sky. A colossal, 900-foot shaft of rugged rock. One whose very name conjures notions of both awe and dread. Devil's Tower.
Devil's Tower is remarkable because you can drive across these sedimentary plains, see nothing but flat ground for miles and miles. And then this tall, dark tower emerges as you drive towards it. There is nothing like it in the surrounding area. The rock has a grayish, even a greenish gray color. And so as you approach Devil's Tower, it's a distinct, stark contrast to the sort of tans and browns of the surrounding sedimentary rocks.
Located in northeastern Wyoming, Devil's Tower was declared America's very first national monument in 1906 by President Theodore Roosevelt, who sought to protect it as an object of scientific interest. Since then, many have asked, what could have caused this massive tower to form?
There are many theories about it, but there's no agreement on what it was that produced this miracle of nature.
Now you got to think about, man, the Stonehenge, man. They got all them extra little buildings that never got knocked down, never got, you know what I'm saying, fucked up. Now some people tried to destroy a couple of monuments, you know what I'm saying? But it's like those that's like you never, nothing never happened to it. There's something strange about them. That's what I say. Come on, man. There's some strange extra shit out there, man. We just don't know. And we don't want to really know all that shit, though, y'all. We don't want to know all that. Let's go.
It is made of volcanic type materials, but there's no other volcanic activity around it. So what caused this thing? We don't know the answer to that question. It's a really interesting conundrum.
Is Devil's Tower really a miracle of nature? Something that simply cannot be explained by natural and scientific laws? Sorry, but that explanation is simply not good enough.
As much as we like to walk around with the confidence that we know this planet and we understand the planet we live on, there seems to be nothing but mystery on this planet. We don't understand how to predict earthquakes. We don't understand how lightning travels. There's so many questions that we have about what produces the forces of nature.
Some have suggested that the key to understanding Devil's Tower is to think of it the way many Native Americans do. Not as a natural formation, but as an unnatural one.
Something that never, look, that shit was around like back then, and it's still here. It's trees done got knocked down. Trees done got turned. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. Something that's just there, and there's something super spiritual about it. It's a lot of little links to Earth, man.
The native peoples of the area have worshipped this tower as an altar of sorts. And many feel like they can climb to the top of this place and get divine inspiration, become empowered. And the question is there some truth to this native legend? That this place is a sacred place on the planet, and it is a sort of altar that allows humans to communicate to the spirits or to the universe or to the gods that they believe in.
To view Devil's Tower, if you want to call it that, Matrotipila is what we call it. It's a sacred place. And when you see it from a certain distance, even then you start to feel the wonder of it, the sacredness of it. And as you get closer and closer, the positive sacred energy starts to build, and you feel it even more when you get to the base of the tower.
I think in the case of Devil's Tower, it is so unusual, it is so anomalous, that it is easy to ascribe a mystical or spiritual attribute to it. It's not surprising that Hollywood directors would choose this as the place that aliens would land from outer space.
In the mid-1970s, one of the most important events in the history of Devil's Tower took place, and that was the filming of the movie Close Encounters of a Third Kind. In that movie by Steven Spielberg, the tower is a spot that many people are drawn to, and they don't know why they're drawn to it. They're drawn to it from all over the country. It turns out, as the movie goes on, that they're drawn here because they'd been abducted sometime during their life by aliens. A UFO lands on top of the tower, and Richard Dreyfuss and several other people climb into the UFO and fly off into space. The number of visitors that came to the tower doubled the year after that movie came out, and has stayed at that level every year ever since.
I don't know if it's a landing site for UFOs, as Spielberg had in his movie, or what it might be. I mean, the more we look at it, the more baffled we are.
We are going to find things as we continue to observe and search and study the Earth that we had no idea how they got there, what type of physical process created them, and we're going to learn new things all the time.
Is it Devil's Tower that is unnatural? Or is it our own limited understanding of nature that produces the confusion? Perhaps Devil's Tower exists to keep mankind humble, as a reminder that we still have a lot to learn. In southern New Jersey, a vast sea of trees stretches as far as the eye can see. Below the dense canopy of these woods lies a primeval world, filled with ominous sights and sounds that are shrouded by dark undergrowth. This foreboding wilderness is known as the Pine Barrens.
The Pine Barrens is basically 1 million acres of woodland in the southern tip of New Jersey. You can essentially get lost in the Pine Barrens and never be seen again, because they are just so vast. At nighttime,
that's scary.
You can hear animals crunching all around. But the problem is, you can't see where these things are. It's a terrifying place, and it's very, very scary, especially if you're lost there by yourself.
The Pine Barrens is home to over 500 animal species. But according to locals, there is one creature said to dwell here that is yet to be officially identified. It's a grotesque, winged monster that is known as the Jersey Devil.
The New Jersey Devil legend is ingrained into the state of New Jersey so much. It's something that every kid hears when they're growing up. The Jersey Devil's gonna come and get you.
So why would anybody want to go to a place like that, period? I don't want to go visit no wilderness, no none of that shit. That's not gonna be fun to me. Real talk though. You can be adventurous as shit, but I want to be adventurous at Disneyland, Magic Mountain, you know what I'm saying? Las Vegas. And then you just be adventurous around a lot of people. Don't go to the woods, y'all. I'm telling you, the woods always turn out wrong.
One of the most famous aspects of the Jersey Devil is its horrific screech or roar. If you hear something like that in the Pine Barrens, you run.
The Jersey Devil looks like it should have come out of Dr. Frankenstein's lab. It's a hodgepodge of animal parts. It has a horse's head with horns growing out of it, a long dragon or kangaroo body, ending in thin, long bird legs and hooves, a forked tail on its back. It has giant leather bat-like wings on its back. If you were to describe something out of a nightmare, the Jersey Devil would be that description.
Could a winged abomination really lurk somewhere in the Pine Barrens? Perhaps clues can be found by examining the origin story of this fearsome monster that has been spoken of in local lore for more than 250 years. As the story goes, in 1735, inside a small house in Leeds Point, New Jersey, a woman gave birth to her unlucky 13th child. And when it was born, it became a monster.
According to tradition, the Jersey Devil is actually the 13th child of a woman known as Mother Leeds. And she is on record as having 12 children. So the story that we get is that when Mother Leeds was giving birth to this purported 13th child.
See, my grandmama had 11, you know what I'm saying? So the family kind of large from that 11. You know what I'm saying? So imagine back then, 12. And then
She apparently, legend says, cried out, "The devil can take this one." And she initially gave birth to a healthy, happy baby boy who almost immediately transformed into this demon-like creature.
Some stories say that Mother Leeds was killed after the baby was born by the baby. Other stories just say he flew up the chimney and into the Pine Barrens.
Skeptics are quick to dismiss the story of a devil born of human flesh. But after this alleged event, entirely new tales of the monster started to surface in South Jersey. In the early 1800s, a military officer of great distinction was said to have had a first-hand encounter with the Jersey Devil.
The Jersey Devil has had run-ins with many famous people over the years, such as Commodore Stephen Decatur. He was a famous naval war hero, and he came across the Jersey Devil flying overhead. He fired a cannon at the Jersey Devil, and according to some eyewitnesses, he shot a hole through one of its wings, but it just flew away and like nothing had happened.
Naval Commodore Stephen Decatur spoke openly about this. So when a prominent person comes forward to say, "Oh no, absolutely, I saw this, strange horse-faced winged dragon-like creature and I shot a cannonball at it," that impresses itself upon us in a way that kind of says, wait a minute, okay, the pattern of belief here is so consistent.
By the turn of the 20th century, belief in the existence of the Jersey Devil had long been part of local culture. But then, during the week of January 16, 1909, an unprecedented avalanche.
1909. My grandmama wasn't even born.
Of Jersey Devil sightings surfaced in the numerous communities bordering the Pine Barrens. And for the first time, this demonic creature terrified not just the residents of New Jersey, but also newspaper readers across the United States.
1909 is really a key year for the Jersey Devil story because what we see happen is really what amounts to just an absolute panic. There starts to be report after report after report of people encountering the Jersey Devil, shooting at it, seeing its hoof prints on top of their chicken coops and their farm buildings. People are sheltering in place because of the Jersey Devil.
One of the more dramatic sightings involved a trolley car in Haddon Heights, New Jersey that was allegedly dive-bombed by the creature. When accounts of these Jersey Devil sightings and attacks surfaced in local newspapers, it actually caused mass hysteria. Local businesses and schools were shut down. The Philadelphia Zoo offered a reward of $10,000 for the creature's capture, and vigilance committees and posses were formed to hunt the creature.
I do think because of the sheer amounts of accounts that happened in 1909, of course some of them are not going to be true.
Hey man, if we have to go search right now, I'm well prepared. You know what I'm saying? All I got to do is just grab my gear, have like about 30 more other people here. Let's go find them, man. You know what I'm saying? Let's go find them. It's just like, hey, without it, you're feeble. with them, you know what I'm saying, you could defeat evil. Real talk though. Cause I remember the days of not having no thumpers. And then it's like you gotta hope you can do a nice good or machete, and I got all them too. But if you got that and somebody else got a thumper, you lost. So therefore, man, thumpers, man, Kamala, leave the guns alone, dog. I can imagine ARs, AR-15 in the hands of kids that don't know what the fuck they doing. I feel that. Ban that. Don't ban people and go to people's doors taking their guns, man. You can't do that. We need our guns, dog. Let's go.
Absolutely. But the fact that so many of them happened, I really believe that there were some actual Jersey Devil encounters during this time.
The Panic of 1909 immortalized the Jersey Devil in both national and local history. But curiously, Native American lore suggests that the origins of this Pine Barrens monster may actually go back much further into the distant past.
In this part of the world, before the arrival of colonists, the tribes that lived here were the Lenape. And they referred to this part of the world, the Pine Barrens of what is now New Jersey, as the place of the dragon. So the presence of a creature in this place of the dragon has been recorded long into the past. We really do see two different cultural understandings of this place coming together in the idea that there's a creature here that maybe looks a little bit like a dragon.
So therefore, man, there's a lot of shit that we be seeing in the skies, and can't do nothing, and don't deceive your eyes, cause it's like shit be up there, man. Shit is around this earth. You living in a regular city, a regular state, a regular country, to where all you know is the surrounding you really more around. Now, if you travel and you get on the plane, you keep going places and shit, you see different shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm quite sure a lot of people on the plane see some shit too. Everybody should have their cameras out on the planes for them when you roll, dog. Just catch that shit. You get some views for that. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. I thought of that. Send me some cheese for it. No, I'm just fucking joking. Hey, but Pete Game, man. It's a lot of shit on this earth that we just don't know about. And we gotta like really like dig in to like just to see. Not to be scared about it, but just to know, because then you can investigate. You can know how to defeat it. You can know how to, you know, how to go about it, man, and like how to live without being like super scary about shit that already really been here. We the ones just continuing to live and this and that. We only been so far in this earth, y'all. Anybody that's been around the whole earth or around the whole globe, you went to where the fuck you was going, you did what you did, and you partied. You didn't go to every forest, every dungeon, every underground camp, every going out of space to go see what's in that area up in the air instead of our air where we at. Y'all never experienced like that. Y'all just go to places to party and Airbnbs and shit. Y'all not focusing on the shit that Earth really got out there, man. You don't know if the Airbnb is like on top of a volcano. You don't know. So it's like, all right, man, let's sharpen our tools before we have to go home, man. And that's all I can say. Because I don't know what other life I'm going to live from this. I don't remember being in my daddy balls, swimming with other sperm. I don't remember that. So therefore, when you leave this shit, you're not going to remember shit. We about it. Hey, before I really get up out of here too, though, I wanted to explain this too, though. It's a lot of people that be like, I don't believe in the devil. But you always pray to God. This video just told you that the devil was God's right hand man. And then he tried to take over, tried to do his thing. God said, hey, be gone. Poof. Clipped his wings, sent them to earth. So therefore, if you don't believe in the devil, that means you don't believe in God. Or if you don't believe in God, you don't believe in the devil. That means you don't believe in anything that's spiritual or soulful, which all of us had that within our body. You know what I'm saying? When it leaves the body, it goes. It flows and goes like the wind. So I can't explain that no more. That look, there's a God and the devil. It may not even appear in your human form, even though it's other humans that play that role. But when the spirit leaves, you're gonna really get to see what we've been talking about on earth. You know what I'm saying? The devil and God. You're gonna try to, like, when you dream, and that dream is real, imagine your dream and you in a fire just all the rest of your life. That's the only way I can put it. Or you in a heaven, in a paradise, no bills, no nothing. You eat good, just good people, no bad people. You just live forever in heaven. Who don't want that? And then you know that you're doing that. If you can dream, you can go to heaven. If you can dream, you can go to hell. Because the dreams be real, man. All it is your body waking the fuck back up, and then you know that you back on earth. If the body was gone and you still in that dream, that's the forever dream you want to be in, man. We up out of here, man. Holler at y'all later, man. I could be wrong, but I'm telling you from a ghetto perspective. Fuck all that thou, thee, thus, and shall we. Ooh, nigga, we humans. Talk for real to me. Earth is dangerous as shit. There's a lot of devils on here. All the godly people we got to get rid of before they get rid of us. We up out of here.